Let's welcome your Governor Livingston Highlanders. The officials for today's game is referee Rick Simon, umpire Chris Simon, linesman David Alpha, line judge Kevin Costello, field judge John Leonard, side judge Stephen Largo, and joining me up here in the booth, clock operator Mark Green.
Voorhees, as we said, 5-1. They only lost by 10 points against a very good Voorhees team coming into this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we honor our country with the playing of our national anthem, sung by Eliza Thomas.
I don't have my anthem set yet, so.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Governor Livingston High School. My name is Nathan Philbert. Thank you for joining us here today on Governor Livingston High School television on YouTube and or Facebook. It's an interesting day. First rainy day of the season, hopefully the last rainy day of the season, but now just saying that, I know that probably won't be true. We only have one more home game left, so hopefully. But currently, we are getting ready to kick off for this matchup between the Governor Livingston Highlander varsity football team and the Voorhees football team. Currently, we're just gonna go get the coin toss going. We are in a bit of a mess over here. As I've mentioned, it is rainy. It is not the best of days. It's around 60 degrees, so pretty chilly. There's a nice little wind chill. I am currently located in a different spot than usual, but still next to a tent, and behind me is where our press box should be. But you don't see that yet right now. We're looking at the coin toss, and we'll see which of these teams will receive and which will take the side. The Highlanders coming in at 3-3 on the season. Pretty decent start, but nothing outstanding. They started off with two not very close games. Both games at home against Lakeland and New Providence. Lost 28-0 against Lakeland, 42-7 against New Providence. But they went on a 3-game winning streak at Island Kennedy, North Plainfield, and then on Friday Night Lights they had South Plainfield, a close one, 12-9. Then last week on Friday, they went to Arthur L. Johnson High School and had a pretty good game, low scoring. 21-20 was the final score. After an overtime, a missed field goal was the decider. So not the way you want to lose a game, but a good fight put up from the Highlanders. Nothing to be ashamed of. So they're hoping they can put up a close fight in this one, which they did happen to do last year. If I can pull that up. Correct. Last year, Voorhees and New Providence, Voorhees and Governor Livingston had a real long fight, 50-46, high scoring, capped off by a kickoff return by Kamir McLean, who's currently playing at Gallaudet University, football, of course. So maybe we'll get some thrilling action like that one, maybe not. That is yet to be seen. However, one thing that I can tell you going into this is that Voorhees is strong, and they're not the team to underestimate. Currently, their starting quarterback, Sam Meekings, has 1,271 pass yards. They have a rushing yard total of 1,105 yards. So this is a brutal offense to go against, fully capable as the Highlanders take the kickoff. Not sure who that was, but a squib kick similar to what we usually see from Mason Barker, and that one will be downed around the 40-yard line, maybe just past it.
Turns the kick back to the ball be placed about the 35-yard line. The first attempt for the Vikings at the 35-yard line.
Lakeland, since I haven't had the chance to talk about them too much, Lakeland has come into this game with a strong start on the season, that is. They're 5-1 currently. Their only loss coming in division play to Bernard's, a team that the Highlanders will play at next week, as here's a rush play to start off the game. Correction, that was Mason Barker kicking it off with the script. I'm not sure why I was so confused with that, but either way, Voorhees will start on the offense. Sam Meekings, as I mentioned already, a pretty good rusher across the season, as I've somehow messed up a part of my stat sheet. No matter. We will adapt. But this is a potent offense from the Voorhees Vikings. Their leading rusher is Matteo Tramutola, apologies. He's got 910 yards on the season, so there's only 200 of those total rushing yards that he doesn't have. As here's a pass out to the left side, gets a bit downfield, and then finally brought down by, I believe that was number 85 of the Highlanders, Mark Caparelli. So, a decent starting position for the Vikings. They've gotten down the field a decent amount. Almost a jump offside there from, I believe, the Otambros. But Meekings now looking over to his apologies. Yeah. Meekings now throwing across the field on a slant. He'll get downfield and he'll finally be brought down by Julio Nieto. That'll be a first down for the Voorhees Vikings. Voorhees trying to play fast now. This is going to be a hard offense to stop. They have been for pretty much every team they've faced against. Of course, Bernard is an absolute powerhouse. That one that they played in was a shootout with Voorhees just taking the edge by about 2 scores. As here's a run up the middle for Matteo Tramutola. Apologies, I'm going to stumble over some of the names here. I got the band right above me to my right, so not very easy to see. Man in motion across the formation. That'll be Logan Durney. Sorry, not Logan Durney, but Ryan Benitez. He'll get it around the edge and finally dragged out of bounds by Julio Nieto again. So Julio Nieto putting in his work at his cornerback spot. But yeah, to go back to the conversation about Bernard being the only loss, as Meekings will throw down the field over the top, just missed his receiver. That was number 3, Benitez again. But Voorhees' game against Bernard's 31-21, so only a 10-point game. As I said, 2 scores. But of course, another potent offense there with Walsh at the helm at quarterback, as Matteo Tramutola will get another carry. He'll get up the gut for about 4 or 5.
Cisco on the stop. Brings up a third down, about 7 yards.
Sorry, that'll only be for about 3. So a third down and 7 now for the Vikings of Voorhees. Another run up the middle, and Benitez will slip forward for a few extra after breaking through some contact, but he'll be just short of the first down. We'll see what the play call is from Coach John Hack of the Vikings. He'll keep his offense out on the field, it looks like. With Benitez at quarterback, they'll go with the Wildcat formation. Benitez driving up the gut. He'll break through and then into the end zone for a touchdown. Vikings. Not exactly sure what happened there, but looks like Highlander defense says that is a replay from last game and not this game. Not exactly sure how that's happened, but a formation certainly, as there's a picked off.
2-point conversion is broken up. No good.
Going back the other way, but no returns on 2-point conversions in the high school game. That's another thing I'm learning. Apparently, last year last game I was not aware that after a safety, the team that took the safety still kicks off and does not punt. No clue that was how it worked in the high school games, but learning experiences, as I said last time. So the Highlanders will come back out, ready to receive this next kickoff. I'll tell you who's on the kickoff in just a second.
Connor Jakubowski.
Just sort through this.
And Mateo Loya back deep for the Highlanders.
Voorhees. Quite a far drive, actually. It's close to an hour away from Governor Livingston, so it's a pretty decent travel for either team. Although the Voorhees band has evidently made the trip, as this one returned by, I believe that is Elijah Garcia.
Michael Donahue on a return. Highlanders take over 1st and 10.
Sorry, that was Michael Donahue, I believe, on the return. Not Elijah Garcia. Elijah Garcia, number 28. Donahue, number 11. So we'll get the first look at this Highlander offense of the day. Mateo Loya in at quarterback. He'll hand this one off. That's Garcia. He'll be dragged down from behind after a gain of, it looks like, just one. Highlanders, led by Coach. Apologies, hold on. I am still sorting out all my papers. This is not the best I've ever been, but sure. Now back to that thought. This Highlander team, led by Coach Pete Remicchio, run-heavy offense, as you can see by the two backs. Tommy Fetish, lead blocker. Elijah Garcia ripping one down the right side. He's got one man to beat, and for Toby Dorr on the tackle, but Elijah Garcia ripping a good one. Great play call there by Pete Remicchio. Go back to the thought, the Highlanders will have a first down, and Pete Remicchio will continue his run game. Not a lot of passing going on from this Highlander team. Not that Remicchio couldn't call it, but only 257 yards of passing. 21 of those, interestingly enough, are from Dominic Labisi, who comes in at Wildcat occasionally. That's a formation you'll see on a 4th and short, or maybe a 4th and goal. A lot of trick plays come out of there. A hop pass over the top is where those 21 yards come from after a trip to the red zone. As this will be a handoff to Labisi, and he'll get a gain of what looks like 2. These referees, as opposed to the ones on Friday Night Lights, look to be spotting the ball at its forward progression, which is the way it should be. So we took down to 7 minutes. That Voorhees drive seemed to take a lot of time off the clock, although the Highlanders also taking a lot of time off the clock. There's a reason they don't have high-scoring games a lot of the time, usually only 3-4 scores. Because with this run-heavy formation, you burn a lot of clock. They take their time in between plays, as here's another handoff to Dominic Labisi, who will tuck and get down to the 31-yard line, set up a 3rd and short. You'll see him clutching over that ball, not trying to let it go, although
Ball's placed down to the 30-yard line.
that looks to be a bit short of a placement, but either way, 3rd and short from the Highlanders. Voorhees with just 6 points on the board, failed that extra 2-point conversion after an interception. Not sure why they don't let them run it back in high school. I mean, seems like a nice opportunity. Would have been a huge break for the Highlanders to get 2 points on the board, but I think they should have. It looked like there was plenty of open space in front of, I believe that was Parker Chatfield in the interception. Another handoff. This one to Labisi. Will tuck it, be met by a swarm. Right around the 1st down marker. It'll be up to the spot of the ball.
On the stop. That moves the ball down.
And it looks like he'll be just past the 1st down marker. So another Highlander 1st down.
1st down, Highlanders. All placed at the 26-yard line.
Dominic Labisi. He's had some fumble troubles. Not horribly plagued in the Highlanders, but he's fumbled, I believe, 3 times on this season. Not that I have the exact stats, but he's fumbled it a few times. Clutching that ball, trying to keep his ball security. I'm sure that's something Coach Amicio worked on with him, as he'll get yet another carry. He'll tuck the shoulder and be brought down after a gain of 2 or 3, it looks like.
Carino on the
We do
stop.
have a clock for this game, unlike our girls' soccer game on Tuesday. We had a few issues. We also have replay, although as you see, we just had an issue with that, so it should be fixed now. Camera 2 is back and ready for replay duties. So you can see the Highlanders. Elijah Garcia now in the backfield in replacement of Dominic Labisi. Mateo Lavoie on that quarterback. He's more of a running quarterback for the Highlanders. Colin Hughes is the one that leads the passing yards. 200 passing yards. Lawyer will try and keep this one. He'll try and break around to the left side, and that one will be taken back for a loss of 3. Ball is on the ground, but whistles blow. The play dead before he can scoop it up.
On the stop.
Loss of 3, that is. So 3rd and long for the Highlanders.
Bring up about 3rd down and 11.
About 4 minutes to go. Out of field goal range, Mason Barker. I'll have to go and check. Mason Barker, 2 field goal attempts, hasn't made either. Both have been from around 30 yards out. No luck on the field goals, so we know, or for right now, we believe his range to be a bit shorter than 30 yards, but if he can hit one from further, I'm sure Coach Amicio would let him. But right now, this would be about a 42-yarder, so. Throw to the outside by Laloya. That's caught. Elijah Garcia.
Laloya's pass is complete to Garcia.
Can't quite see if that's enough for the 1st down.
Bring up a 4th
But
down.
Laloya, so scratch the thought on Hughes being the passing quarterback. Garcia going up for that one, climbing the ladder. He looks like he'll be a yard or 2 short. Make that 3 yards short. So, a 4th and 3. Dominic Labisi, you see, checking into the game. Wonder if we'll see a wildcat formation out of the Highlanders. We won't. Oh, no, correction, we will. Dominic Labisi lining up at that quarterback spot. Tommy Fettis out wide to his left. He'll take it. He'll drive up the middle, trying to get the 1st down, and that one looks like it'll be short. And it will be. A 4th down stop for the Vikings. And the Highlanders turn the ball over on their 1st drive. He only needed a yard or 2 extra, but just couldn't keep his feet moving as he dove into a mass of Viking defenders. So 2:51 left on the clock. That is time enough for Voorhees to go down the field, especially if they go pass heavy like they did last drive. The Highlander defense, not terrible, but definitely outmatched, as here's a run to the outside by, that's number 4, that is not Benitez.
4 on the carry.
There's Toby Dorr on the run to the outside. He'll lose a few for the Vikings. The great tackle for loss from the Highlanders, but as I was saying, this Highlanders defense, they're good, only 124, that is, points allowed on the season, but this Vikings defense only 94, as here's a run to the outside from Benitez. Some calls coming from the stands for a hold, as there's a flag thrown on the play after the push out of bounds by Julio Nieto once again. So he's putting in work, and we'll have a conference from our referees and see what the call is. Looks like they'll be moving him back, so this will be a holding call against the Vikings. That'll move him back a few, set him up for a 2nd and long. A few being 10 yards.
Second down and 12.
So 2nd down, a fumbled snap.
Fumble on the play.
That one almost dangerous
Recovered by the Vikings.
for number 12, Sam Meekings. It is coming down. That's not coming down. It is raining very lightly here, but evidently overtime accumulation of water in that ball makes it a bit slippery, so that is not a good start. The Vikings now back up to their own 5-yard line. Highlanders band putting the noise up. Now, forefront for the Highlanders. Paparelli on that right side. Dylan Sisko on the left. Meekings looks to step into it. He'll have to throw this one short, and that looks like it should be a flag for intentional grounding. That was behind the line of scrimmage. Highlanders defense asking for a flag. That would, I believe, by the rules, be a safety. It was intentional grounding in the end zone. So referees look like they're actually having a bit of a conference about it. Be a huge break for the Highlanders. Get 2 points and the ability to score again a 2nd time. But no intentional grounding call from the referees. 1:25 left on the clock. 4th down, and the Vikings will set up to punt this one away in their own end zone, so it could be dangerous. And that one a quick boot away. Not quite sure who that was, but this one taken by, sorry, that is not Garcia. That is number 17 of the Highlanders, Connor Jakubowski. His sister, speaking of girls soccer, which we streamed earlier in the week, you can find that after this game on the Governor Wilson High School television channel. You can go back and rewatch it. An unfortunate 2-0 loss for the Highlander varsity girls, but a good game nonetheless. Haley Jakubowski playing on that varsity girls soccer squad, as you can see a pretty decent crowd coming out for the Vikings despite the long drive. Of course, when you've got a good football program like this, you get support no matter where you go. So that is Colin Hughes handing it off to Alesh Garcia, who will get a gain of a few. Should set up a 2nd and short for the Highlanders, already in Vikings territory. Just past the 30-yard line, so making it to where they stalled out last drive.
Moved down to the 29-yard line. Second down and 3.
Motion Fettis across the formation. He'll keep this one, trying to go up the gut. He'll get a gain of a few. That looks like it should be enough for a 1st down.
Hughes on the carry.
On that keeper. And it will be, so a Highlander 1st down.
15-yard line. That's good enough for Highlander 1st down. Perfect in 10 for the Highlanders. 4 points at the 25-yard line.
So Hughes will check back in. Didn't see him on the last drive. We did see a Labisi Wildcat formation though, and with just a few seconds left, the Highlanders won't decide to run a play as the first quarter comes to an end.
That's the end of our first quarter.
So, at the end of the first, Highlanders down 6 with a score of 6-0 in favor of the Voorhees Viking. I'm Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining me here on Governor Livingston High School Television. If you want more updates about Governor Livingston High School Television streaming, you can follow me on Instagram at Nate Philbricks Productions. That is Philbricks, Philbrix. We'll take a short break, and then we'll be back.
Mozzarella sticks, some candy chips, hot chocolate, soda, water, an apple, and some Gatorade. Visit the Snack Shack now and at halftime. Thank you.
What's up?
It's fine.
It's rough. Yeah. How are we feeling? Good. I'm feeling fine. Could be doing better, but given the circumstances.
Put something here or? We're not gonna get. Okay. There's enough ambient come from here. Anyway.
Let's hear it for our cheerleaders, the varsity cheerleaders.
Okay. You're good.
Highlanders will have it 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line, starting the second quarter here at Fry Field.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Highlanders on a 1st and 10 as we open the second quarter. Man motion across the formation by Hughes. He'll take this one to the outside. Misdirection play, actually. Trying to go up the gut with Tommy Fettis.
Fettis on the carry.
Usually just a lead blocker, kind of acting like a fullback type, which, you know, if you're a lover of traditional football, I'm sure you'll love the fullback position. I'm sure you do love the fullback position. But for those of you who don't, a bit of an underappreciated position, always setting those lead blocks as you see him on that wide right side, kind of filling in a tight end spot in that gap. As Hughes will hand off to Garcia, and he'll get a gain of about 2.
Garcia on the carry.
And should set up a 3rd and long for the Highlanders. BC will come out now. And Hughes will check off the field, actually. So Dominic Obisi being put in at the quarterback position for this 3rd down. Voorhees making their own subs with number 77, Ryan Stanley, coming onto the field. Sorry, that's number 73, Zach Taylor, coming onto the field. Sorry, Hughes is still on the field. Labisi lining up on that left side. Garcia motioning around to the back. Hand off to Garcia, run up the middle. That one will only be good for a gain of, looks to be about 3. Around the 22, or the 21. We'll see what the Highlanders do. As I've said, Mason Barker, he's had 2 attempts from out at 30 yards range. This one would be a 35-yarder, correction, 36-yarder, which is a field goal he has missed before. So we will not see him come out into the field. Coach Remigio trying to go for it on the 4th down instead. Hughes will stay in the backfield with the BC behind him. Trips to his right. Hughes will take the snap. He'll design rollout to the right. Look to throw. Cut back to the left. Looking for somewhere to go. And a holding penalty likely on the Highlanders, but Hughes will go down in the backfield. So this will be turnover on downs. It will be a holding penalty against the Highlanders. That'll be declined. And Voorhees will have their second 4th down stop of the day. And they'll get a chance to come back on the offense.
Today we are proud to recognize Girl Scout Sophie.
Went 3 and out after a series of unfortunate plays on the last drive. Did manage to put up 6 points in the first drive of the game, but since then they've only gotten the ball once. This will be their 3rd possession of the game. The Highlanders have, of course, not scoring. So, still a 6-0 lead for the Vikings. So we'll see Sam Meekings line up in the backfield. Take the snap, he'll hand this off. That's number 5, Ryan Vernick. And he'll get a gain of only 1 at the most, it looks like. So, doing a lot of running of the Vikings, of course. You know, if you talk to any good football strategist, they'll tell you that the run opens up the pass. If you can set up the run, you allow the pass as the defense expects it. But Mateo Trumatola, sorry. I'm going to mess that name up a lot. Going with the run there, and no yards gained. So not able to set up the run, or maybe a gain of 1. Not really able to set up the run for the Vikings. We'll see what they go with. Meekings looking to pass here. Faking the handoff, play action. That one batted around. That was knocked down by number 76, David Dorsett. And then juggled in the hands of Sean Torino of the Vikings, but finally knocked down by Julio Nieto. Again, I'm calling his name a lot today. So a 4th down, and the Vikings will be going 3 and out once again. Coach Hack likely not pleased with this team. This should be, if you want to look at the prior results for Vikings games, you'd think, as there's a high snap, luckily brought down by their punter for the Vikings. I'm not exactly sure who it actually is standing back there and booting that ball away. It was actually, looks like number 6, Mateo Trumatola. Well, I'll have to go check that because someone tells me that's wrong. It is. Okay, so a punter and a running back. Trematola, no dedicated punter for the Vikings. The special teams kicker, Dustin Moke. Apologies, not quite sure. He's 19 for 20 on extra points on the season. He is in the game, so I'm not sure why the Vikings would go for that 2-point conversion earlier, as there's a stuffed run for the Highlanders. Not going anywhere is Dominic Labisi.
Ball's moved out to the 44-yard line. Gain of 2. Bring up 2nd down and 8.
Of course, this would not be the only game of the weekend, if not for the canceling of the Pageant of Champions tomorrow. Governor Livingston High School Television will not be streaming that. It will be indoors instead. Getting a lot of rain across New Jersey, so GL Marching Band decided to just not go ahead with that one, as Mateo Loyola will roll out to his left, maybe looking to pass. Well, it doesn't have anyone. He will throw it downfield, but that one will go out of bounds. Set up a 3rd and medium.
Brings up a 3rd down and 8.
Timeout called by the Highlanders, so 7:37 left here in the 2nd quarter. Down by 6. Not a huge deficit, but Highlanders offense stalled out around the 30-yard line for every drive they've had, although only 2 drives so far. So not a whole lot of sample size there. Coach Micho looking to get points on the board early. The Vikings, a high-scoring team, they have close to 214 points. 210 points, sorry. 210 points scored on the season for the Vikings. Highlanders only 101. Of course, GL also allowing 128 points scored on them, while before he's only allowing 94. A third of those points coming in a single game against Bernards. So, a stout defense and a high-scoring offense, but that's not what we've seen through the first 2 quarters from the Vikings. Sam Meekings not throwing the ball a lot, although throwing the ball in the rain, never really a good idea, but the run just not able to be established. Likely playing into the Highlanders' strategy. They're pretty good on run on both sides of the ball. Large defensive line, Ryan Sacamani, sorry. Sean Sacamani, David Dorsett, Theo Tombros, Mark Caparelli, all guys who are close to or over 6 feet, 200 pounds, as I'll roll out to the right for Mateo Loya will be unsuccessful, and the Highlanders will punt this one away on the 4th down and 8 on the 44-yard line. So another stalled-out drive. Mason Barker, number 97, will step in and punt this one. Sorry, Mason Barker, number 70, will step in and punt this one. Oh no, he actually is wearing the 97 jersey. I'm not sure what happened to his number 70 jersey. I presume that'll be on somebody else today. But a solid boot here. That one will go past the Vikings and unfortunately roll into the end zone for a touchback. Had the Highlander punt recovery team just been a bit more aware, they likely could have stopped that one and downed it inside the 20. Barker has 2 punts down inside the 20, so he's not doing horribly on the season. You can judge that for yourself. He has had to punt quite a bit, unfortunately. Across the 6 games the Highlanders have played, 578 total punting yards, 16 punts. So not really as much punting as you would expect, almost 3 punts per game, but he's got a long of 64. So you know he can boot that ball away. Of course, pretty much anything in excess of 40 yards away from the end zone is punting territory for the Highlanders. As here's another handoff to number 6, Mateo Tremutola, and he'll keep the legs moving for a gain of 5. A decent run play for the Vikings. The rain coming down a bit heavier than it was at the start of the game. My table is getting a bit wet along the edges, but I have a tent over me, so it'll keep me dry. As that ball, bad snap on the ground. Tremutola breaking through 2 tackles, 3, now brought down by a swarm just past the 1st down. So no 3 and outs on this drive for the Vikings, but still only at their own 31.
Ball out to the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vikings.
As I can hear the band playing to my right. Tremutola with another run, breaks through 2 tackles. The rain kind of benefiting him, able to slip through tackles easier than he typically would be, sliding off a few. As
ball out to the 35-yard line. 2nd down and 6.
There's Leo Buckley. I'm not sure if you can hear him playing a bit of jig 2 action. So Meekings, fake handoff to Tremutola. He'll get a strike to the right side, and that one will go for a 1st down to Rylan Benitez. A quick slant pass. The rain still increasing in heaviness. We weren't supposed to get this until tomorrow. Delayed handoff on the draw. Tremutola breaking around to the right side. He'll get a 1st down. Finally brought down by Parker Chatfield, number 3.
Timeout or an injured player.
Highlander band's still going. That's some stamina. As I believe this is Gabe Farrow now, taking over the helm. One of the things you gotta love about the lower levels of football at the college and high school levels, the bands, they bring the energy. As here's another handoff to Tremutola. That one stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Nice tackle for loss there by, I believe that's David Dorsett. 76. I'm gonna let the band breathe for a little bit as we tick down to 5 minutes, as I have been. Tremutola handing off. Nope, going for a play action or an RPO. Trying to get it to, I believe that was Rylan Benitez again, but just at the feet of his receiver. Passing in these conditions, not always the best, which is why both teams are going for the run a lot more. And that'll cap that one off from the Highlanders to the applause of the crowd. Of course, if you want to stick around during halftime, this Highlander marching band should, I believe, be performing their halftime field show. As there's another pitch run for the Vikings. Another run, this one a pitch to Tremutola. That one stopped behind the line of scrimmage once again, so a 3rd down and long now. Highlanders forcing the Vikings into throwing.
Looks like about a loss about 1 yard on that play.
Loss of about 1, 3rd and 11. I might get boosted a bit.
42-yard line.
42-yard line, so out of field goal range. The kicker for this Vikings team, Dustin Moak. He is yet to attempt a field goal. Potentially a similar issue to with Mason Barker, where just lack of trust, as there's a throw down the field, and that'll be picked off by the Highlanders. Or sorry, that was a punt. Apologies, that one taken by Parker Chatfield. Connor Jakubowski, not Parker Chatfield. He's not on return for today. That was taken by Connor Jakubowski on the punt. 4 minutes on the clock now, and the Highlanders will get the ball. Michio likely looking to run the rest of this clock out and get a score before halftime. Of course, as I've said, Highlanders not able to get into the red zone yet today. We'll see Colin Hughes in the game. Tommy Fettis to his left, Dominic Labisi behind him. Standard 5-man set. We'll hand off to Labisi, who's got a lead blocker in Fettis. Labisi driving forward, keeps the legs moving. He'll get a nice gain of about 3 or 4. Should set up a 2nd and medium. My table is getting even more wet now as the rain's spilling off of this tent I have around me.
About 3 yards, brings up 2nd down and 7.
The weather not the best. As you can see the Voorhees band in ponchos. I can tell you from my own eyesight, the Highlander band is in similar ponchos. Both bands trying to stay dry. Of course, their instruments can't stay dry, so it was always that. Hughes, again a handoff to Labisi. Never mind, a keeper, and he'll be brought down in the backfield. Madden Kramer just coming off that edge rusher spot and bearing down on Hughes for a loss of yards. As I will try and have to go fix something real quick, see if I can adjust my tent so I'm not getting splashed on. Apologies, I'll be back in just a second.
3rd down and 9 yards, both placed at the 22-yard line.
Hughes in the backfield again with Labisi. Now we'll look to pass, going deep down that left side, and that one quite a bit short of Julio Nieto. So a 4th down for the Highlanders. Only burned 1.5 minutes just over off the clock. Not the best. Whoa.
4th down and 9.
My audio got turned up a bit there. Apologies. Not sure who's on audio. I can't see. But either way, a punt will come away from Mason Barker now inside his own 10-yard line, just outside his own goal line. The Vikings going with a heavy front, trying to go for the pump block, it looks like, or not. Mason Barker will boot this one away, and that one will go a real fall. Bounce over the head of the returner. That'll bounce into the 20-yard line, and can't quite see the ball. Or sorry, it won't make it to the 20-yard line. It'll stop just around the 24.
Down, ball will be placed at the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vikings.
Not quite the roll wanted, but a nice boot by Mason Barker from around his own 15 onto the other 25. That might be a new long for him. Number 8, Dylan Vernick, just choosing not to return it, lets it go over his head. So 2:10 left on the clock for the Vikings. They'll start on their own 24.
Left here in the second quarter. Vikings are leading 6-0.
Two minutes and 10 seconds the Highlanders will have to defend for. Maybe hopeful for another 3 and out. Meekings pitching this out to the right to Rylan Benitez. He'll get around the edge and be tripped up after a gain of 3, falling out of bounds. 2 minutes and 3 seconds left on the clock. Handoff here. This one to Tramutola, and that one will go down. He will get a gain on the play, but it'll be a short one, and he'll set up 3rd and medium for his team. Highlander band going into overdrive. Crucial play. Potential for a 3 and out. With time left on the clock. Meekings looking over to his sideline for an adjustment. Tramutola switching sides to receivers out, a heavy front. Tramutola taking the handoff. He'll be brought down just short. Should set up a 4th and 1. We'll likely see Coach Hack go for this one. And he will. Offense will stay on the field. Not a lot of time if the Vikings want to go down the field and score. 4th and 1 as we tick down to a minute left in this second quarter in the first half. Ball on the 34-yard line. Discussions coming from the Vikings sideline. They're going to have to go and run a play or call a timeout soon. Everyone kind of just standing around, and that will be a timeout just before the delay game penalty would have come. So the Vikings looking to burn down as much clock as possible, maybe trying to limit what the Highlander offense can do. And unsure if we'll still see a 4th down attempt. I mean, if you were going to go for it on 4th down and try and get a score before the halftime, you probably want to go for it as quickly as possible on that 4th down or call the timeout way earlier. So this leading me to think that the Vikings might be booting this one away, which we've seen some big run plays from the Highlanders. I'm unsure if Coach Romicchio would go for the pass in the 2-minute offense. He hasn't been inclined to from what I've seen before. Seems to stick with his guns, which is the run game. Of course, that being a pretty solid run game for the Highlanders. On the season, 1,031 yards on the rush. Of course, still not as many as the Vikings, who run that dual offense with both running and passing, but still effective enough. And they will punt it away. So Tramutola punting it away. That one will be short, and it'll roll all the way down to the 25, now the 24, and 20 seconds left, and the play will be blown dead with 20 seconds left. Coach Romicchio, I believe, or I will make the assumption that he'll probably just kneel this one out. Only 20 seconds. Not really much of a point in going for a play. You know, God forbid you give up a fumble return for a touchdown or a pick 6. But we'll see. And he will just kneel this one out. Mateo Loya will come out and take the knee, and we'll watch the last 20 seconds of this half tick away. Ladies and gentlemen, the score going into halftime will be 6-0. The Voorhees Vikings up by 6 on the Governor Livingston Highlanders. My name is Nathan Philbrick. You are watching Governor Livingston High School television. Stick around because we will be seeing the Highlander Marching Band come out and play their half-time field show, unless they're not
Over here and get a bit drier.
going to, but
Tommy, there is a thing at halftime. I'll do it. What? There's a thing at halftime. I'll do it.
I don't believe they will. So,
Probably get a band.
no halftime show from the Carolina Marching Band, but either way, you can go follow me on Instagram if you want more updates on the streaming of Governor Livingston High School television. You can find me at Nate Philbricks Productions. That's Philbricks, Philbrix Productions. Thank you. We'll see you in about 15 minutes when the second half begins.
Thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Week 6 of New Jersey High School football. Just 2 more regular season weeks to go in the public school season. After this one,
The lawyer and Jakubowski back to
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Governor Livingston High School. My name is Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining me here today for this Governor Livingston High School football matchup between your Governor Livingston Highlanders and the Voorhees Vikings. Coming out of halftime, the score is 0-6. The Highlanders will have first possession of the ball. Low-scoring game, especially considering Voorhees, a pretty high-scoring team. 210 points scored across 6 different games this season. They've only allowed 94 points, and they've allowed 0 in this one, so not adding to that total. But the Highlanders looking to get a score on the board and hopefully cut this lead down, or take a lead if they're managing to get the first touchdown. But here's a boot away. That one fielded by number 11 of the Highlanders. That's the usual Michael Donahue, and he'll get it up just short of the 40-yard line. So Highlanders will start with good field position. They haven't made it down into the red zone. The farthest they've made it, I believe, the 24-yard line.
Highlanders will take over.
So
First and 10. Ball's going to be placed at the 39-yard line.
the first and 10 at the 39-yard line. The Highlanders looking to get their first points of the game as we come out of halftime.
The lawyer brings the Highlanders to the line.
Marching band actually not back yet, so no band as of yet, although I believe I hear them climbing up the stairs. They did not have a field show, unfortunately, the rain preventing them from doing that, as LaLoya line up with Fettis and Labisi. Labisi will get the carry. He'll bounce off a blocker and manage to push forward for a gain of 1.
Labisi on the carry.
Bit of rough in there, maybe.
Interior line of the Vikings.
Shoved to the ground, unnecessary, but high school game, they get a bit more leniency
Gain about 1
than
yard. Brings up second down and
at other
9.
levels.
Ball placed at the 40-yard line.
So the Highlanders are 2nd and 9. Ball on the 40-yard line. Just past it. Lawyer looking to throw, going over the top. It's a screen to Dominic Labisi. He'll get out to the left side, finally tripped up, but he'll fall forward for a first down. Or maybe just short.
first down.
It'll be a close one. We'll see what the spot of the ball is from the referees.
That's good enough for a Highlander first down. Highlanders. Ball placed at the 49-yard line. First and 10 for the Highlanders.
First down is called, so the Highlanders with their first down of the second half. And the band is back. So we get their ambiance too. First down now from the 51-yard line. Sorry, the 49-yard line. There's no such thing as the 51. LaLoya with Garcia behind him. Fettis to his right. Fettis acting as that lead blocker. Garcia trying to go right up the gut. Slips through. 1 man to beat. 2 man actually brought down from behind by number 1, Drew Mahoney. Another big break for Elijah Garcia. Run down the gut.
That moves the ball down to the
Garcia,
25-yard line.
not the biggest ever. He's only 5'9". Just slipping through that gap. Getting by 2. That block from Colin Cisco didn't quite hold up. But either way, there was another man bearing down on him, and Drew Mahoney will bring him down. They'll get up to, looks like up to the 35-yard line. Or 25-yard line, apologies. It'll be the 26. Same setup in the backfield. Loya. We'll hand it off to Garcia again, going up the left side. This one not as successful, but still a gain of maybe 2. That'll set up a second and medium. Elijah Garcia will be swapped out now. Dominic Labisi will come in, along with a few others. Connor Jakubowski, Michael Donahue, Julio Nieto.
Ball placed at the 24-yard line.
Highlanders close to the red zone, just about 4 yards out from it. Looking for their first trip there today. Haven't put any points up on the board. If they can get into the red zone, even if they stall out on the 5-yard line, should be some points on the board as Laloya will throw down the middle of the field. He'll find a receiver, Connor Jakubowski, and he'll be brought down to the 6-yard line. So talk about the red zone. The Highlanders will get to it now. And they'll be at the 7. Not quite the 6. Look at this throw. Laloya just going over the middle. Finds Connor Jakubowski, bounces off 1, bounces off 2 actually, but managed to be brought down. So now single back formation. Elijah Garcia behind Laloya. Garcia will run up the gut. Will get inside the 5-yard line. I'm not quite sure. Looks to be about the 4. Maybe the 3. It will be a 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. You have to think if Coach Amicio and his team get to a 4th down here, they're going to go for it. Voorhees up 6. You can't be confident that your team's going to score again. This one will be only the 2nd score of the game. I mean, no scoring one. But you have to think he'll probably go for it. Otherwise, Laloya with Garcia in the backfield again. Only 2 receivers out. Motioning Fettis across the formation. Laloya will keep it himself. He'll run up the gut. He'll find a gap. And we're tied up. Highlanders can take a 1-point lead pending the extra point. Watch this. Gap develops on the right. Lead blocker, number 76, David Dorsett. Getting a bit of coaxing from Laloya forward. And he's into the end zone for a rushing touchdown. Of course, Taylor Laloya, typically the rushing quarterback for this team, but extra point now pending. That one up and through the middle. A 1-point lead for the Highlanders. Going back to Mateo Laloya. He doesn't have a rushing touchdown, but he's got 124 rush yards. Dominic Labisi has 6 of the rushing touchdowns for this team. Elijah Garcia has another 5. Colin Hughes, who's typically the passing quarterback, he's got less total yards than Laloya, but he's got 2 touchdowns on 22 attempts, so 11 less attempts, but 2 touchdowns and around 40 less yards. And then Tommy Fettis, number 44, that fullback, acting technically a halfback on the roster, but more of a fullback. He's got a touchdown too. Labisi, he's averaging just under 5 yards per rush, actually, on the season. He's got 102 rushes on the game and 494 rushes total. So he's got 4.85 yards per carry, which is a decent clip. It's not something to scoff at. He's not breaking huge runs all the time, as here's a squib kick from Mason Barker. He prefers not to go with those deep kicks, not quite sure why. Maybe to give his return team a bit more time to get down the field, and they will cover up that ball after just a few yards gained on the return, but it will still give Voorhees pretty good field position on the 39-yard line, it looks like. 7:45 left in the third, so still a lot of time in this game. It's been low scoring up until this point, but maybe the Highlanders just opened the floodgates. We're not quite sure yet.
Go get him, guys! Go get him, defense!
You might hear the band yet again. They're getting ready. A throw here, tipped up by David Dorsett once again. Gets those huge paws up. He's pretty good at doing that. At least I believe that was Dorsett. Looks like number 76. It was a pass out to the right from Meekings. We'll get another look at it here. You're looking for that second guy in on the offensive line, and that is, yeah, it looked to be Dorsett. I'm not sure, it might have been a halfback or a corner or one of the linebackers who got a hand on it first. I thought it was Dorsett initially, just from the flight of the ball, as here's a handoff to number 6, Mateo Trumatola. He'll get a gain of a few. As Dylan Cisco will run in. Meekings looking out to his left, trying to go for a screen. Trying to reverse field. That one won't work. No luck. Switching the field for Logan Durrani. Apologies. So it'll ring up a 4th down and 11. The Highlanders with another 3 and out. Doing pretty good on the defense. It's just up to them to give themselves a few more scores. Or it's up to the offense to get a few more scores and give the defense a bit more of a cushion. You know, we saw in the Friday Night Lights game, the last game we streamed here on Governor Wilson High School television against South Plainfield. You can go and watch that on GLHS TV, of course, after this game. But it was only a 3-point margin at the end of the game, so it was a close one. And the Highlanders, you know, Highlander defense didn't get a lot of leeway. They had to make a goal line stand to win the game, as Connor Jakubowski gets a decent return on that one, up to, it looks like the 45 or 44. So they'll start in similar field position. We'll get a nice look at that. He starts around the 32. He brings it up around the outside, drives through a man. Yeah, that looks like to be a gain of about 10, 13 on the return. It'll be marked down as the 45-yard line. And we'll see Rare. Colin Hughes in the backfield alone. He'll motion Elijah Garcia open. He'll have a handoff to Elijah Garcia on the sweep. He'll get a decent clip down the left side. There's a holding penalty, unfortunately. Didn't really look like a hold to me, but that one will likely be coming back. That one a questionable foul. The defender wasn't trying to turn away. You can grab the front of the jersey. That's not a holding if you grab the front. But evidently the referees disagree. We're getting another look, Garcia. You'll see it out on that left side. Yeah, that's number 11, Michael Donahue. Doesn't look like a hold. I mean, he gets a bit of his jersey, but you can do that. That's not against the rules. Referee evidently saw holding. Not, of course, we couldn't see his left hand. We're not sure if he had a hand around that shoulder, which would make it a hold, but looked to be pretty clean. Moved his defender down to the turf, kept moving him downfield. Yeah, it'll be a hold. So a first down, but it'll be from the spot of the foul. So 1st and 5 for the Highlanders, still a gain.
1st and 5 from the 50-yard line.
They're on the 50, almost into Viking territory. 6:15 left on the clock. Now ticking under. Another wide set for Colin Hughes. Nobody in the backfield with him. He'll look to throw. He'll move out to that right side. He'll get an easy completion to number 3, Parker Chatfield, and he'll be down just past the 35. It looks like the 34, depending on the spot. And it'll be a Highlander first down. 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. 5:50 here. The Highlanders doing a pretty decent clip. They've had one score already. Now on their second drive of the second half. They'll be looking to the end zone for another one. Hughes in the backfield alone. 5 wide now. Rare formation. He'll motion a man across. He'll hand it off. This will be Garcia, so no second pass attempt. And Garcia, getting dragged down from behind, still managed to get a few extra yards and bring up a 2nd and short. 5:20 left on the clock now. The Highlanders looking to burn all the time they can.
Moves the ball down to the 26-yard line.
So, 2nd and short now for the Highlanders.
Second down and a long 2.
So second down and short. Under 5 minutes left on the clock. Hughes is in the backfield alone again. This is rare. He'll motion Elijah Garcia in, however, and he'll hand it off to him. Garcia will get a gain of 1. Maybe 2. Either way, he'll set up a third and short still for the Highlanders. And they're into good field position. A field goal from this point might be just out of range.
Timeout, official timeout.
And an official timeout, I believe, to figure out whether this is or is not a first down. And they will. They'll bring the sticks out, so we'll wait and see what the measurement of the ball is.
That's going to go to baseball next. The box. Some of those balls on the Yankees were shitty, man, right?
This one may be close.
Those Giants,
Unfortunately, players on the sideline are kind of blocking our view. Let's see.
Shane's out here. We'll see if it's a first down, and that one will be just a bit short.
Short.
A few inches in between
So it'll be third down.
the first down marker and that ball, so the Highlanders will still have to come out for third down. They'll move it inside the hashes. Referee's making sure the spot of the ball was correct. And it will be, so no first down for the Highlanders. It'll be a third down.
Highlanders offense will break their formation and finally come back out. And now we'll see a more typical set. Colin Hughes, Fettis to his left, and Labisi backing him up. Just waiting on the referee's whistle to bring us back into play and to let that clock run. Ball placed and the whistle will blow. We'll get play started once again. The Highlanders down on a bit of pretty good clip, driving down the field this one. Now a handoff to Labisi, who will get a few. Still keeps his feet moving. He'll get a gain of about 4, push down, maybe 5 even. So that's a nice gain. It'll be enough for a first down for the Highlanders.
That's good enough range.
And we'll see the band go. The clock should be running. Yeah, there it is. So first and 10 on the 19-yard line for the Highlanders. Second trip to the red zone. Last trip, they were in the end zone after just 3 plays. This one maybe not as quick, given how far out they are, but there's another handoff to Labisi. He'll tuck his shoulder. He'll get down to what looks like around the 15, maybe just a bit short, but either way, decent gain of about 3. The rain seemed to have stopped here. Of course, sky not quite clear,
Down to about the 15-yard
so
line.
still a bit wary. And then water droplets coming down.
Second down and 6.
But it has opened up the game for both of these teams a bit. The Highlanders, as you've seen, throwing the ball a bit more. Colin Hughes and Mateo Loboya both using the opportunity to, or using the lack of rain to try and throw some strikes downfield. Not something you see often from this Highlander offense. As we see another standard set in the Highlanders. Tommy Fettis to the right of Hughes with Labisi behind him. No Garcia. We saw him early on the drive, but he's getting a bit of a rest on Labisi. Will be brought down in the backfield.
Labisi on the carry.
That's Jack Schlaudecker, number 7, who gets to the backfield.
That was third of the season. What a great defensive player. He was mostly a receiver.
Loss on the play.
So loss of about, looks like 2 on the play for the Highlanders. Unfortunate, but it'll set up a 3rd and long. Maybe just in field goal range, not quite sure. This one would be actually it would be a 35-yarder, so maybe out of field goal range. I'm not sure what Coach Remicchio thinks is field goal range for his team. We haven't seen him attempt any field goals since the first 2 games. So who knows? But Hughes will be alone in the backfield. Labisi will line up at that tight end spot. Trips to the near side. Hughes takes a snap, looks to throw, gets it to Labisi. It's another screen. Labisi trying to cut his way up, driving through, spun down, and that one should be enough for a first down.
Move the ball down to around the 9-yard line.
The referees will say 4th down. they've moved the ball back a bit from the spot. He was spun down a bit further than that, and they'll call a 4th down. The Highlanders will keep their offense out on the field.
4th down and less than 1 yard to go.
Less than 1 yard. I don't know what the referee saw there, but he got spun down. His knee didn't go down immediately, so he took his time. Stayed up for just a little bit. Drove through contact for that one, so setting his team up in a good position after the 3rd and long on the screen. But now Hughes. He gets Garcia behind him, and Garcia will drive forward to get the 1st down.
You will have enough. 1st down,
BC being the lead blocker for that one. So another Highlander 1st down now inside the 10-yard line. Around in between the 8 and the 9, it looks like. Not quite up to the 8-yard line, but good field position for the Highlanders now, and they're ticking time off the clock rapidly. Almost done with the 3rd quarter.
Make Laloy the receiver.
Hughes will stay in. We haven't seen Mateo Laloya this drive, or at least I don't believe we have. I might be mistaken. But we've seen Hughes since they've gotten past the 50. He's got 1 man behind him. It's Garcia. Hand it off to Garcia, faking the pass, but that one will go backwards. The referee not quite going to the spot of forward progression, but
at the 9.
It will be corrected, so there is our spot of forward progression. 2nd down, and from the 9-yard line now, closer to the 10. 25 seconds left. The Highlanders might just run the rest of the clock out. They don't seem to be breaking their huddle. So, although they'll hear a play from Coach Remigio, they'll look over to the sideline. Hughes will come back with one, maybe just delivering news that they're going to wait the clock out. And now he'll jog back off to the sideline. So, to close out the 3rd quarter, Highlanders 7, Vikings 6. The Highlanders with a lead of just 1 point. A close one here. The Vikings on upset watch as we go into the 4th quarter and we get ready for the last 12 minutes of this game. My name is Nathan Philbrook. Thank you for joining me here on Governor Emerson High School television on YouTube and or Facebook. If you want to follow me on Instagram to receive more news about the streaming of Governor Emerson High School television, you can follow me at Nate Philbrooks Productions on YouTube and now TikTok if you have TikTok. That's Philbrooks, Philbrix Productions. We'll be back in just a minute once we switch sides.
20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Here we are. 4th quarter begins. Tightening 1.7 in the government. Two teams that need a win today. I don't know what happened. We don't even know what happened. Governor Livingston comes in at 303. I know.
Highlanders will have it to start the 4th quarter. 2nd down and goal from the 9-yard line. 2nd and goal from the 9 as we start the 4th quarter here at Fry Field. With the Highlanders leading 7-6.
So, we switch sides now. The Highlanders on a 2nd and goal, a long 2nd and goal, because it's from roughly the 10-yard line now. A 2-man set in the backfield. Elijah Garcia will get the handoff. He'll run the route to the outside. Spun down at the 5-yard line, however. Set up a 3rd and medium to the goal line for the Highlanders. We'll see what they go with here. Might be the chance to pull out another screen for the Highlanders. We've seen them work pretty well. Dominic Labisi, he's gotten a decent clip on each of them, although Labisi isn't out here on the field. Hughes will jog back out and deliver the play to his team. Of course, could always be still a run play. Hughes is capable on the ground. We've seen him rip a touchdown in the rushing game. We saw it actually here. And he will pass instead. He'll loft this one over, attempted to Julio Nieto, but just over his head. Not quite there, and the Highlander offense will jog off the field, and
Brings up a 4th and goal from the 5-yard line.
4th and goal from the 5. I believe Mason Barker will come out to attempt this one. And he will. We'll see him jogging out there just on the right side of the screen, number 97. So, just a bit longer than the extra point, but it is from the far right hash. Of course, high school hashes are much wider than college or NFL hashes. So,
21-yard field goal attempt.
The uprights, though, are a bit tighter. But still, this one will be a interesting one to see whether he can bend this one to the left, and he will be able to. Or no.
No good.
The referees will call it no good. There was some cheer. I think they think it was in, but the referees called it no good. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but either way, missed points there from the Highlanders. Mason Barker now 0 for 3 on his field goal attempts this year.
With 11 minutes left here in the 4th quarter.
Can't quite tell from that view, to be honest. Even with the replay, it looks like it went behind the farmost upright, but can't quite tell. And they're starting on the 20-yard line, which is not where they should start, because they should start on the spot where the field goal was taken from, unless the rules are different in high school, but that is a very arbitrary and stupid rule to change. Either way, they'll start on the 20-yard line according to the referees. No gain on that play, or maybe just a gain of 1. The run not really able to be established by the Vikings this game. They've had a few decent run plays, but nothing in excess of 20 yards. As I believe the receiver on the near side of the field is offsides. But, well, if the referees decide it, we'll let their decision stand. And they won't call them offsides, but the Vikings will get a decent run of about 3 or 4 yards. And they'll set up a 3rd and medium. Not sure who it was on the run. It was not Matteo Tramutola. But Tramutola is now in the backfield with Sam Meekings. Meekings motioning a man across the formation. Hard count likely, I believe, from Meekings. As finally he'll take the snap. He'll hand this off to Tremutola, and he'll be wrapped up. He'll keep his feet moving. He'll slip through a blocker. He's got the left side open to him. Finally run out of bounds, but should have been brought down way earlier. Just the tackle slipping off from the Highlanders. Unlucky. Messing up a potential 3rd and out. Highlanders could have gotten the ball there with plenty of time left in the 4th, but now Viking first down. When they haven't gone 3 and out, they've done pretty well. They've only had 2 drives where they haven't gone 3 and out, actually. And here's a pass far over the top. That one completed to number 2, Logan Durney, and into the end zone to take the lead for the Vikings. A touchdown on that one. The Highlanders not expecting the pass. Heavy rush on all the drives, and just over the top, over the outstretched hands of the defender. Not quite sure who that is, but must be number 17, kind of Jakubowski. So just over his hands, and I believe they'll go for a 2-point conversion again. Not quite sure what happened to their kicker, but they'll go for another 2-point conversion, try and get 14 points on the board. The Highlanders stopped the last one with an interception. They'll go with the run for this one, and he will be in. That'll be number 8, Dylan Vernick. So, sorry, that was not number 8. That was number 6, Matteo Tremutola. Either way, 14-7. The Vikings retake the lead, and now they're up 7 points. Just breaking around that right side. Not able to be brought down. The rain is still lightly coming down. Not really enough to justify multiple tackles being slipped from the Highlanders, and multiple tackles being missed by the Highlanders, and the Vikings slipping tackles able to get more field position. But
That's all crunch time, powered by Top Mental Gaming. You're struggling with
So 9:28 left. Still a decent amount of time. The Highlanders have had some good drives.
On to kick off.
Kind of held back a bit by a few penalties. There was a penalty, of course, against Connor Jakubowski for holding. Didn't really look like a holding, but it is what the referees called. So now a kickoff here. It's number 30, Dustin Moak. So he is in the game. The Vikings have just chosen to go for 2-point conversions instead of kicking the extra point. And a decent return here from the Highlanders up to the 40-yard line. They'll start with good field position.
Jakubowski on a return.
It's Connor Jakubowski with that return. The Highlanders will now take the field after just a few minutes, with the Vikings having a particularly quick drive. They've had 2 trips to the red zone this game. Their first drive of this half, just the last drive they had, did go into the red zone, stalled out around the 5-yard line, however, on that far right hash, and Mason Barker unfortunately missing the field goal that would have put them up 10-6, although wouldn't have made much of a difference. Vikings now at 14, so they'd be up anyways, but maybe a bit more of a manageable score as Dominic Labisi carries that one for what was, I think, a 7-yard gain, but now will be moved, or what was an 8-yard gain, but now will be moved back to a 7-yard gain. Not sure why. I mean, that's where the ball landed. They just took it out of his hands and put it down, but instead they decided to move it back. Forward progression and whatnot. By the way, now we'll see Laloya in the backfield. Hughes haven't taken the last drive. Now it's Laloya's turn. He'll have Labisi behind him. Now Labisi will take it. He'll run up the gut, and that should be enough for a first down for the Highlanders, and it will be. And oh no. Dominic Labisi is limping off the field. Hopping on one foot. That is not a good sign. Elijah Garcia coming out now in a hurry. That does not bode well for the Highlanders. Elijah Garcia will be taking a lot of the carries. Let's just hope he had a bit of a cramp and didn't want to put weight on that leg. But either way, Garcia will take this one. He'll run it up the gut. He'll slip through. And he'll get more than enough for a first down. That looks like a gain of about 15 yards down to the 34-yard line.
The ball down to the 34-yard line. That's good enough for me.
Another Highlander first down.
Highlanders. Ball placed at the 34-yard line. First and 10.
8 minutes left. Still plenty of time, and the Highlanders taking all the time with them. They've had 1 minute and 30 already around on this drive. But without a 2 running back system, not Tommy Fettis motioning cross. Without a 2 running back system, it might be a bit fatiguing for just Elijah Garcia. Garcia using his lead blocker in Fettis really well, spinning down, throwing his legs all around, and getting down for a gain of, looks to be about 8. Or not. That'll be a gain of 6. So a 2nd and 4. Short yardage here. Coach Remigio not needing to pull out the pass plays yet on this drive, but he's established the run pretty well. If he so chose, he'd probably be able to. Laloya now with Fettis to his left and Garcia to his right, or Garcia behind him. Apologies. We'll hand this one off to Garcia, following his lead blockers. He's got a man in front. Now he'll be brought down from behind, but not before he reaches around the 15-yard line and gets into the red zone for the Highlanders. The clock is stopped. It should not be stopped. Or actually, the referee stopped it. Not quite sure why. But a 1-score game still. Highlanders now in the red zone, looking to get a touchdown back and respond to Voorhees. Under 7 minutes. The Highlanders looking to carry a lot of time with them on each drive. They do it naturally anyways, but the more time they can take, the less time they'll have for Voorhees to score. It's kind of how they roll with their whole low-scoring thing. Garcia now lined up behind Fettis motioning across the formation. Garcia will get a run. He'll be met by a whole host of Vikings, but he'll still get a gain of about 1 yard. And There's another man down on the field for the Highlanders.
Timeout on the field for an injured
This is a
player.
dangerous drive for them. Not quite sure who that is. Looks like one of the offensive linemen. But just a few minutes ago, we saw Dominic Labisi down. Not quite sure what his status is. I haven't seen him on the sidelines anywhere. He's probably being treated by an athletic trainer. But so far, it's been a pretty close game. Highlanders haven't fallen behind too much. They've kept it close. They're within one score. They've been within one score the whole time. They had a decent drive. Now this fourth trip to the red zone, and they have the potential to put up their second score of the game. Could have had a second score on their last drive, but unfortunately Mason Barker not able to deal with the strange angle. It is pretty strange to kick from that far right side of the from the far hash on any side of the field, whether it's the far hash or the close hash. You kind of have to adjust for that by turning yourself quite a bit, and evidently Mason Barker just didn't adjust enough for that. Slipped past the right upright as Loya will look to throw it, trying to roll out right. He'll get this one to Fettis, and Fettis will get down for a pretty good gain. Set up a 3rd and short, I believe, or just 3rd and medium. Looks to be about 3rd and about 6. So
11-yard line.
Close to the 11-yard line are the Highlanders. On that far hash, you'd think Coach Remicchio, thinking in advance, is probably going to run something to the left, try and get more into the middle of the field to give Mason Barker an easier chance, and he will. Elijah Garcia now rumbling down and trying to stretch the ball, but he's right at the marker. And this will be a decision to make for Coach Remicchio.
4th down.
Will he go for it in 4th down, or will he try and take the 3 points? He's closer to the middle of the field. It might be an easier kick for Mason Barker. It'll keep his offense out on the field. Mateo Loyola will run back out, carrying the play call with him. We'll likely see a run. I'm surprised he's actually not pulled out the Dominic Labisi Wildcat a second time. I think. Okay, interesting. Well, yeah, actually, never mind. Labisi is out of the game. LaLoya will keep it for himself. Will cut up the middle. That one will be enough for a 1st down before he's driven back. He'll get down to the 4-yard line, and that should be more than enough. And now inside the 5-yard line are the Highlanders with 4 downs to go to the end zone. But to go back to my thought from just a few seconds ago, I'm surprised he didn't pull out the Labisi Wildcat more than once. He did it on the first drive of the game. It was unsuccessful, and he didn't go back to it again. Now with Dominic Labisi out, that's something that's not in the picture for him. So you think he would have tried to use it a bit more. Usually he uses it 3-4 times a game, but with Labisi on the sideline and his status unknown, looks to be out of the picture permanently now. Either way, Loyola in the backfield with Garcia behind him. He'll have the handoff to Garcia. Garcia with the lane up the middle. Will drive down. Highlanders thinking they have a touchdown. That's Mason Barker in there, actually blocking, and they'll call him down on the 1-yard line. I mean, he was pretty close. If we had a camera along that goal line, I'm sure we could see how truly close he was. But either way, if this are the Eagles, they'd be going for a tush push. But 3 minutes left on the clock. The Highlanders in a bit of an interesting spot. If they score and they take the extra point, they'll be tied 14-14. They'll have to hope on their defense to either get a 3-and-out to give them another chance to score, or Dominic Labisi back in the game for the Wildcat formation. Not out of the picture, and he'll get the carry into the end zone. Still limping just a bit, and he'll limp back off the field. Evidently, Coach Remicchio telling him just get in there and run the ball up the middle, and he does it splendidly. Now a choice for the Highlanders, as I was going back to. Will they take the extra point and tie it up 14-14 and rely on their defense? Or will they go for a 2-point conversion? Looks like they'll go with the extra point for now. And whistle by the referee. We'll look at the play again. Dominic Labisi even limping on the play, but with one leg out of the game, still able to drive forward and get into the end zone. He has a bit of trouble getting up, but he gets up and limps off the field. So Coach Amicio likely using his trump card just one last time. Timeout. Not sure from which side. We couldn't quite see from any of our vantage points, but 2:51 left. I believe Coach Amicio will go for the extra point and try and tie this one up 14-14, but that'll leave a lot of time on the clock for the Vikings. If they're able to drive down the field and get a touchdown or even a field goal, and they don't leave enough time for the Highlanders, that could give Voorhees their 6th win of the season. Of course, now it's all up to Mason Barker to tie it up still. I shouldn't have said that. He'll put this one up and through for the extra point. So we are tied 14-14, 2:51 left in the game. Just a simple kick, not too high, didn't put too much power on it, not trying to push it one way or the other. So 14-14, a low-scoring game here, and now tied up. The Vikings might be on upset alert. They are a pretty good program in terms of, New Jersey football.
This one goes to the Whit Grace Foundation, helping kids and families facing pediatric cancer and advancing life-saving research.
Of course, this game being streamed on Big State Sports, and every Big State Sports commentator who does their picks picked Voorhees to win. So perhaps a chance for the Highlanders to show a bit of what they have. As this Vikings team, not a top 20 team, but at 5-1, they're still pretty decent. I don't think they make it in the top 25 either. But a larger regional school, or not regional school, just a larger school from South Jersey. Mason Barker will kick this one away. Another squib kick. And this one will be fielded by number 22, Sean Torino. He'll have blockers out to the left, and he'll be brought down just short of the 40-yard line. So almost dangerous there for the Highlanders. But 2:45 left on the clock. The Highlander band, I would hope, will be in full effect for the remaining just under 3 minutes of this game. Bring the energy and try and give this Highlander defense the ability to make these stops. Here's another carry from number 6, Tramutola. He'll get a decent gain of about 5, so not quite what the Highlanders wanted to start out with. And the Vikings will go quickly in the hurry-up. Another run, another to Tramutola. He'll take his time, trying to find the holes. He'll be brought down after a gain of 3. And he'll be a yard or 2 short of the first down. So 3rd and 2. The Vikings running a 2-minute offense already. Meeking's on a hard count, looking over to his sideline now, trying to figure out what the play call is. Maybe switching up the play call. No 2-minute warning in the high school game, so we'll tick down past 2 minutes. Another handoff to Tremutola. We'll get a decent run up the left side and be brought down. Of course, all the Vikings really have to do is run the rest of the clock out and then get a field goal. But they haven't attempted a field goal all year. They haven't attempted a field goal today. They haven't even attempted an extra point. The only time their kicker has come out on the field is for the 3 kickoffs they've had. So, another run from Tremutola. That one will be driven back. He'll slip through a few, though. And now will be met by Max DiDonato, who will finally drive him out of bounds. So the Highlanders need to bring them down. And they can't let the Vikings get out of bounds, because every bit of time they give them is more time they can figure out. They have to figure out their offense and get into the end zone. Just past the just short of the 40-yard line are the Vikings. Still tied up 14-14. Tremutola will get another handoff. Will go up the middle. Max DiNonato will meet him again, along with Dylan Cisco, and they'll bring him down jointly, along with some added help from Julio Nieto. That'll be a first down for the Vikings. The clock shouldn't stop. It should keep rolling. I'm not sure why the clock keeps stopping, but the clock operator for these referees just giving a bit of time back. As here's Tremutola ripping one to the left side. Can't be brought down. Julio Nieto, the last hope, and he makes it into the end zone for a touchdown. The Vikings are now up 20-14. Not sure why the referee kept stopping the clock. You do not stop the clock inside 2 minutes even, unless it's a first down. And he just kept stopping it. And Tremutola, with that time to figure out what play they were running, not having to force to go hurry up, will get into the end zone. So they'll go for the 2-point conversion again. A 2-point conversion successfully converted would give them, or actually, no, they'll go for an extra point. Try and go up 7. Their kicker will come out, and he'll put this one up and through. So 21-14 is the score. The Highlanders down by 7. They need to score go up a touchdown within the next minute and 4 seconds. Still a close game, still within 1 score. I will say, the stopping of the clock is suspicious. You don't stop the clock in between plays. It should keep rolling. He kept stopping the clock. Not sure what for. Of course, it is not a Governor Livingston Highlander worker. There's nobody working for our athletic department. There is a dedicated clock operator from the NJSIAA.
Tide Cleaners, Barbecues, Readers, and Jersey Joes. Thank you to our 2025 football sponsors.
Pick a man and hit him! Pick a man!
So the Highlanders now forced into a spot you never want to be in. A 2-minute drill. Needing to score a touchdown. Luckily, with the extra point scored for the first one that the Vikings have chosen to go for. Not sure why they were going for them earlier, but with the extra point, the Highlanders will be forced to score a touchdown. A high kick there. This one will be returned by the Highlanders. No space to be found. Connor Jakubowski on the return, and he'll get up to the 41-yard line. With 58 seconds left, the Highlanders will have to go quickly. Still 3 timeouts, sorry, not 3 timeouts, only 2 timeouts in the pocket of Coach Pete Remicchio. So he'll have to be strategic with his choice of play calling. Maybe less running, although that is the Highlanders' bread and butter, so it wouldn't be. You might see them run on maybe a short down and distance, but no running for now. Colin Hughes in the backfield alone. He is typically their passing quarterback. Man motioning across the field, it's Jakubowski. He'll switch to the right for the trips, and that one incomplete. Intended target Parker Chatfield, just landing at the feet of Colin Hughes' intended receiver. 55 seconds left. Quick throws are what are needed in a 2-minute drill. You can't spend too long in the pocket. But the Highlanders will need a first down. If they go 4 and out, that seals the game away for the Vikings. Seven-point lead for Voorhees. 55 seconds left in the clock. The Highlanders driving, looking to stay above 500. Currently at 500, and that is, of course, 500, Coach Pete Remicchio's all-time record with this Highlander squad. Loya now in the game. He'll roll out to his left, looking. He'll have to run it. The Viking is going, of course, for a high coverage, trying to go for zone with a 3-man shell, not looking to give up any passes down the field. That one won't be enough for a first down, and only be a gain of 6. So a 3rd and 4 with 48 seconds left. Mateo Loya still in the backfield. He was replaced by Hughes, replaced him, or he replaced Hughes. Now trying to go out wide to, I believe that's Elijah Garcia, who will fumble the ball out of bounds, or no, incomplete they'll call it. That looked like a fumble. I mean, he took 2 steps.
On the recovery.
So I'm not sure.
Timeout.
Not sure what happened there.
Highlanders.
Timeout by the Highlanders. Pete Meacher does not need to call a timeout here. He's just wasting his timeouts. He's only got 1 left now. This is not a good choice, but especially with 40 seconds left. Fourth down for the Highlanders. If they manage to get this one, they'll have to go quickly in the hurry up. If they don't, that'll basically be the game, and the Vikings can kneel the rest of this one out. So, a tense situation. Pressure is on for the Highlanders. Mateo Laloy on the backfield. Ready to throw a pass. 5 wide. Take the snap. He'll drop back. Voorhees band going. Only 3 coming. A spy. Will throw down the field, and that one tipped and incomplete. 31 seconds left on the clock, and the Vikings will kneel this one out.
Vikings take over
After a 4th down stop and burn away the remaining 31.5 seconds on the clock. The Highlanders will fall to 3 and 4. An unfortunate loss in this one. Highlanders just slightly outclassed, not dominated, but just couldn't get the stop when it mattered. They'll swap out the ball. Not that that probably matters much, but so victory formation for the Vikings. 31 seconds left in the game. They only need to nail this one out once or twice. Although, no victory formation actually. Meekings will be in the end there with 2 running backs, or a non-traditional victory formation, but he'll take the snap and kneel the ball down. And this should end the game for the Highlanders. So, the final score here, 14-21. Governor Livingston Highlanders fall to the Voorhees Vikings. Only 10 seconds left on the clock, but that is the rest of the game. Handshakes will commence shortly. Players are already walking off the field. My name is Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for having joined us today here for this rainy day football game for your Governor Livingston Highlanders on Governor Livingston High School television on YouTube and or Facebook. If you want to check me out on Instagram or TikTok now, you can go to Nate Philbrick Productions. That's Philbrick's P-H-I-L-B-R-I-X. You can follow me or not. I don't really care, but I post updates about streaming of the games, when we go live, stuff like that. So, that's all for today, folks. Hope you have a great afternoon and evening. I'm Nathan Philbrick. Thank you for joining us.